Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Great Day Houston. All right, we are starting off with something that many of us have experienced in a nightmare. You are at a formal event and your teeth fall out. In this case, your dentures fall out. All right, it happened in real life to Stephen Caldwell. After years of struggling with failing dental issues, he finally found a solution with real bite. He went to Dr. Samuel Collins, AKA the Cowboy Dentist at Manvel Dental and Implant Center. He restored Stephen's smile and ability to enjoy life again because he can enjoy food again. All right, we are not laughing at you, we are laughing with you. But how many people have had that nightmare that their teeth were falling out before it to happen in real life? That had to be a crazy moment for you. So go ahead and share with us what was happening.
Well, that was really bad. But what happened was even worse than that. I had to go to a wedding in California. So my wife and I were going to a wedding, and I dropped my teeth while I was preparing, while I was getting ready. And they broke in half.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Not only are you dealing with dentures that weren't working well to begin with, the ones that you had broke
in half.
And so you're out of town.
Yeah. So I went and got some super glue.
Oh no!
Yeah. And I'm gluing them together, but I glued them together like this.
Okay, this story is to be continued, everyone. Okay, this story is to be continued. But Dr. Collins, you have heard all kinds of stories. But first, let me start with, there are lots of dentists out there, but dentists have different approaches to dentistry.
Yes.
You look at the mouth at not just an isolated part of the body. You look at the mouth as the gateway, if you will, to the body. So you study what is called naturopathic integrative medicine.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I actually just in January, I did a 3-year program in New York, understanding the body as a whole. Mm-hmm. So I'm an integrative doctor that treats whole health. So I'm looking for a tooth that, basically toxins. Everything about your body, every disease from autoimmune stuff, whatever you have, it's because of toxins. Yeah. And I'm looking for those.
Yeah, because oftentimes people will come in, will have issues and say, in fact, you ask them, you can see in the mouth what's happening, but you'll ask them, are you dealing with inflammation? Are you dealing with, what other thing, knee pain, back pain, whatever you do, because oftentimes you'll find that it leads back to the mouth. You treat all kinds of other things that we're familiar with in the mouth, root canal failures, cavitations, jaw infections, airway issues, and implants. But oftentimes people will say to you, it's crazy, you fixed that mouth problem, and now this problem went away, and I don't even take as many medications as I used to before.
Well, the thing is this, if you have problems, let's say, for example, metal, mercury fillings. I mean, you guys, everyone now can, we all have ChatGPT now, so you can start looking things up for yourself, right?
Yeah.
But just metal itself can be toxic within the body itself, from headache issues to autoimmune issues to whatever you have. Your oral mouth can be an oral contribution to what? Everything.
And we're talking about metals, we're not just talking about like you're wearing a gold bracelet.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
There's all kinds of other metals that we're exposed to. All right. So you're at this wedding, but your teeth issues had started way before then. When did you start noticing that you were having failures in your mouth?
In my late 50s.
Okay.
Things were getting real uncomfortable, so I had all of my top teeth pulled, so I only had my bottom teeth, and I would put dentures on the top. And dentures, you have to put the glue on there, you stick them up there. And if you put too much glue, Dorothy, you bite down and the glue overlaps the teeth, and the next thing you know, your top lip is glued to your teeth.
Your top lip? Well, this story just keeps getting worse by the minute. Your top teeth were glued to your mouth. And then, of course, it was only, you had them in there, really, it was only aesthetics that you were using them for, because to eat the food you wanted to eat, you couldn't do that.
You can't eat. I had to eat softer foods. I wasn't able to really enjoy a good steak, and even food tastes different because you have that plate up there.
Yeah.
So you're not able to use all of your taste buds and everything.
Yeah, and you say the experience of dentures was like hell.
Yes, it was.
Wow. All right. So then you realize that there's a better way. That we were all hearing about this thing called implants, right? And it's like, okay, I'm sold, I'm in, but there's a cost associated with that stopped you from moving forward.
Well, I had a quote while we lived in California, and this was back around 2018 or so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was over $60,000.
Well, welcome to Texas, sir. All right, Dr. Collins, if anybody is hearing this right now, yes, there is a cost associated with it.
Yes, it is.
It's what you get in return is priceless, but don't let that stop people from coming in, and then you will work with them on that end of getting it paid for. All right, but with the implant center, it is the gold standard today of what, speaking of metals, it is the gold standard today of what you can do to finally get that bite back. Well, but when it comes to dentures, I just want to mention this one point. A lot of people think that can be an answer, but when you're wearing dentures, your bone still continues to deteriorate, doesn't it?
Correct. That's correct. So one of the things about what I do, well, I'll say this. There are several implants on one, so we do both metal and ceramic implants. Now, metal implants, unfortunately, I'm sorry.
The right ones, the right metal ones, right? Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So ceramic implants is probably the gold standard.
Okay.
Metal implants can cause other issues. Corrosion is one, and also depending on your body, right, it can cause other issues. I mean, physical issues within the body itself.
Yeah.
So we give you options. You know what I'm saying? Either you want the metal or the ceramic. I do both now, but you have to realize, like he was mentioning a minute ago, you have to be able to chew your food.
Yes.
The first part of your mouth, the first part of your digestive system starts where?
Yeah.
The mouth. And if you're not able to chew your food properly, then the saliva that has the enzymes, right, it cannot do what? Really deteriorate the food well enough to even get to the stomach.
Yeah.
So it matters. So if you can't chew your foods, if you can't eat your food properly.
And you can't eat the wide range of food, because a lot of times people will do like the pastas, the potatoes,
Yes,
which
ma'am.
as we know, all starches and carbs like that
Yes.
cause other issues, gaining weight, diabetes. It just becomes a domino effect.
It's a huge domino effect, and unfortunately, people don't realize how important it is to have teeth.
Yeah, all right, so what was the solution for him?
Well, you know, he was easy, man. This gentleman man came in, he was ready. He came to me, telling me what he wanted.
Yeah.
I was
And
motivated.
You were
he was
motivated,
motivated,
yes.
he was
After
motivated.
gluing dentures to your lip, I bet you were.
Motivated.
Yeah.
And you know, we did both top and bottom for him. And since then, you know, he has to tell you his experience and how, for him, you know, he's now been able to do what? Eat.
Yeah, in fact, you celebrated with a celebratory dinner.
Yes. Celebrated with a big old steak.
Yeah. and you almost had to relearn some things, because before you stopped smiling and you wouldn't go for certain foods that you would like to go after. And now you don't have to approach food that way. And now you don't have to approach smiling that way.
Absolutely right. Not being able to chew brought on a lot of difficulties. It brought in indigestion and a lot of other things. Plus, my bottom teeth were still mine.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of bacteria in there. And I was really nervous about going to any dentist.
Right.
But then when I went and met, after the breaking of the dentures,
Yeah.
I
They were
came back,
lopsided.
I came back to Houston.
Yeah.
I called up the Cowboy Dentist, and it was Cowboy Dentist to the rescue.
But it's been what, 3 years now?
About 3 years.
Yeah, at that point you needed somebody to cowboy up. All right. So as you mentioned that you were kind of hesitant about dentists, and a lot of people, by the time they come see you, by the time they need dentures, they've been through a lot.
Yes.
And I know
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends who actually said to me, "I'm so ashamed of my teeth. I don't know
Yes.
if I want to go in."
Yes.
And it's like, don't be ashamed. This is what you do.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and it's great if people wouldn't wait as long, because
Yes.
you can interrupt some things
Yes.
and perhaps save some natural
Yes.
teeth. But the point is, when you walk through these doors, put shame aside.
You know what, I have this thing on my website, no fear, no shame. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm overseas. I'm in Switzerland and Germany trying to understand the whole health, because when you love it, I love to help. I love to talk to patients. I love to change their lives. I mean, we're changing lives
Oh
here.
yeah.
I mean,
just think about
you
not
know
having
what
your
I'm saying?
teeth. All right, so you got those new teeth in, and the other thing it does a number on is your self-esteem, and now your self-esteem is restored.
Well, my
you know, in California,
self-esteem was never threatened.
That's California.
It was never threatened. He just didn't smile. Okay, all right.
My problem was I wanted to eat.
You just want to eat. Okay,
This is all California.
I'm with you on that one. I just want to eat.
I couldn't bite an apple.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I had to eat
Yeah.
soft foods because I'm afraid that they're going to fall out. I'd forget the dentures, go into an important engagement, I'd leave the dentures at home. You know, a lot of people with dentures can probably relate with what I'm, the thing I'm going through.
1,000%, or even damaged teeth and missing teeth
right,
as well.
right.
All right, let me touch back on something I said earlier. Again, there are people who are listening who feel like their health can improve, obviously, if their teeth improve. But the other thing is that they're hesitant. They believe in the implants. They're hesitant because of the cost.
Right.
What do you want to say to those people who are putting it off because of
You
cost?
know what? I mean, there's always a cost factor for everything. Everything's an investment.
Everything
right?
is worth it, yeah.
But let me ask you a question. What happens when, because of your not being able to chew, now you have stomach issues. What happens because you're not, you're not coming to me, someone like me, and you don't know you have chronic infection in your mouth? That's still causations of other things that's going on within the body. Now I got a stroke. Because actually, if you don't have teeth, you're not able to breathe correctly. If you're not able to breathe correctly, then what's happening? Also, inslin resistance.
Now,
Which
is
is
diabetes.
Diabetes and everything else, right? So that also increases. So all these things factor in.
Also, they several years ago related heart disease.
Absolutely, always, all that.
Yeah.
So if you're not looking at those things, how much is that stuff? So we do have options for you. We have financial options for you now. Thank God. Years ago, when I first started doing this in 2001, almost 20 years ago, they didn't have financial options.
Right. So today we have financial options. We have different ways of applying those implants. It can be all your teeth out. It can be some of your teeth out. Some of your, the implants can be used for anchors, all that type of stuff. And you walk people through. My mom had this done at 93.
Okay.
And
say again?
My mom had it. She said, "I just want to be able to eat." That's all she wanted at 93.
That's my story.
And the great thing was that she felt absolutely no pain. That's the other thing that stops a lot of people thinking about the pain. There's no pain. And so stop putting it off and enjoy the rest of your life. The Cowboy Dentist has a special offer for Great Day Houston viewers. Get a free consultation and CT scan when you make an appointment. That CT scan is something that just gives you a much better view of what's going on. And lifetime warranty when you go through the process. Lifetime warranty when you go through the process. They have 2 locations, one in Manvel and the other in Rosenberg. You can take advantage of that special offer now by calling this number right there on your screen, 361-D-COWBOY. That works out to be 361-326-9269, 361-326-9269. You can also visit them online at thecowboydentist.net. I mean, your teeth story needs to be a Lifetime television story. That needs to be a movie series. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much.